Hi, my name is Felicia Mihali. I am a writer, a teacher, a translator, and a publisher. I live in Montreal, where I moved in 2000 with my family from Romania. I'm going to read now a few pages from my latest book, Pineapple Kisses in Iqaluit, published this year in April, a sequel to a novel, The Darling of Kandahar, that came out in 2012. A title that was nominated by Canada Reads as one of the best novels in Quebec of the year. And it is about Irina, the main character, that tries to put behind her past, moving up north, hoping that in a way she will mend her life, the tragedy that struck her in the past, while she was in love with a Canadian soldier who dies in Afghanistan. This novel starts with a chapter called Places and People. One day I happened upon a teaching position in Iqaluit, the capital of Nunavut. The job description didn't give much detail about the task, except that l'aurore boréale was l'école francophone la plus nordique au monde. Was this geographical achievement so important as to merit the emphasis? Was it so extraordinary to imagine oneself working in a place that had no other counterpart beyond the Arctic Circle? When I analyzed the job description again, the doubts that had bubbled the day before vanished. And the posting now lured me with all the power of a sea song. It had to be an exceptional achievement to be the most northerly francophone outpost in the world. No French conjugaison anywhere else in the Arctic. Time for this history teacher to put the Crusaders' mythology and the Middle Ages charm aside and move forward to the Becherel. Moving away is not about looking for new places, but seeking new people. As you set out to travel, family and friends might guess that you are looking for better company. When better is not possible, less boring would be an improvement. Boredom was killing me in the school where I had been teaching history for the last 6 years. It was a public high school, like many others, where the concept of teaching as a vocation was fading away, corroded by the younger generation's cynicism. Withdrawal from the real world is at the core of that generation's vows, but we are no better than them. The most frustrating thing for me as a teacher was the gloomy mood of my students. Young people are somber, driven by a secret desire to get adults on the wrong foot and accuse them of something, usually of being mean or ill-intentioned. Theirs is a generation that doesn't take no for an answer, while at 34 I felt already too old to say yes very often. This job blew a kind of excitement into my life. The unknown has attracted people to the Arctic for centuries, yet geographical exploration had never been my interest. Unlike Martin Frobisher, the first white man to officially set foot on Baffin Island, I knew from the beginning what I would find in Iqaluit. When you are a lonely person, solitude follows you everywhere. Yet, the first thing that struck me when I arrived was the geographical misunderstanding I had of my own country. The most shocking was the unexpected odor of putrid algae and salt water that hit me when I got off the plane on September 4. Iqaluit is set on the shore of Baffin Island in a small inlet of Frobisher Bay. Those names had been linked in my mind with eternally frozen land. How could I associate the smell of the ocean, the drizzle of rain, and the sticky fog with the Canadian Arctic archipelago? Then it was the dust, staining the land a dark brown. The few passers-by I saw on my way from the airport seemed to have never polished or washed their boots. I would soon figure out this was one of the things people rarely do up north, as rarely as putting makeup on one's cold reddened face or washing one's oily hair, always covered by woolen caps. In only 2 days, my shoes were to be coated with as many layers of dust as the roads I was to take across the city. Someone once wrote that brown was the least valued color in the Western culture. In paintings, brown is used mainly to depict the land, the least striking detail in the landscape. In Iqaluit, brown was by far the most prominent color at this time of year. It would be found in everything from the hills, shores, houses, roads, and blackberry bushes to the fishing boats, seal pelts, and ships. Everything here was a mixture of brown and gray, except for when a hunter's gaudy parka disrupted the dull hues of the landscape. My arrival up north started under bad auspices. Contrary to what I had hoped, there was nobody from the French school board waiting for me at the airport. My 6 huge pieces of luggage were the only ones remaining on the baggage carousel, and they looked as lonely as I was. When the last passenger left, I decided to take a cab to the address emailed by the Nunavut Housing Corporation, my faceless and anonymous landlord. On the way, I realized I didn't have the key to the apartment on this fine Labor Day when the whole city seemed like an abandoned ship beset in the ice. In that moment, I had a vision of a Kafkaesque housing castle where tenants were nothing but folders. My arrival, that of a French teacher from Montreal named Irina, had just slipped to the bottom of the stack. The drive to the city took less than 10 minutes, long enough to the taxi driver to give me some details about the building we were heading to. He told me that my rooms were certainly on the 2nd floor, since Canada Post and some other offices occupied the ground floor. There were 2 entrances to the building, and according to his experience, tenants always used the back door. He unloaded my baggage there and abandoned me with a benevolent wish of good luck. The day was gray. After a second tour around the building, I saw a light at one of the windows on the ground floor. Perched on a wooden box that I found near the garbage container, I knocked on the glass. An old lady peered out and agreed to let me inside. She searched for a phone number and then spoke on my behalf to a long chain of people until she found the one in charge of new tenants. 1 hour later, a tall, gray-haired man came with the key to let me in. He showed me around the apartment, but the full inspection and signing of the contract were postponed to the end of the week. He just made sure I had all the furniture I needed, that the power was on and the toilet would flush. I found this incident a fair price to pay for my neglect to inquire about the key. More than anywhere else, survival in the Arctic has always come down to good or bad choices. I knew this after all the lessons I had taught about the search for the northwest passage to China. At the end of the day, I found myself a much luckier explorer than Franklin and his crew. Dozing on the comfortable sofa in my new living room, I even let myself think that the worst was behind me. I could have ended up sleeping up at the airport till the next day, or paying an exorbitant price for a hotel room in what is the most expensive city in Canada. Instead, I was now in the apartment I would call home for the next 10 months. I was relieved to open my bags one by one and forage for the essentials: my pajamas, soap, towels, toothbrush. At a certain point, I decided it would be a good idea to have a bite to eat after such a day. While slowly chewing a bagel spread with cheese, I got to thinking that everything in life is a matter of technicalities. Everything should go smoothly as long as you pay attention to details, like asking about the key when you move up north. The Inuits' ancestors survived in this place by taking care of the technicalities. They became skillful hunters, kayakers, igloo builders, and tailors, using the available resources. Yet their daily routine was probably as boring as anywhere else in the world. I imagine these people hated waking up in the morning, getting dressed, wolfing down what food they had, and keeping on with living. People can count on this routine every day from sunup to sundown. While organizing my canned vegetables in the cupboards and my yogurt, cheese, and fruit in the fridge, then my sweaters on the hangers and underwear in the dresser, I felt reassured that this would be my daily routine for the next 10 months and nothing unexpected would happen till my return to Montreal. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you'll enjoy reading the whole book.